Members of the House of Representatives are miffed over a botched meeting on Wednesday with security chiefs and ministry officials over the attacks. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Idris Wase, berated the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Baba, and other officials for failing to appear in person before the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the bombing of the Kaduna-Abuja train and the attack on the Kaduna Airport. So rather than appearing in person before the committee for the meeting, the invited officials sent representatives. Let's hear from the Deputy Speaker.
I'm constrained as a Deputy Speaker to continue the meeting because the accounting officers are the ones that are supposed to be here while you give them the necessary support. So we cannot proceed. And I'm saying with heavy heart, no matter the assignment our generals are handling, I believe the parliament requires a listening ear.
All right, Vicky, I'll start with you. I think the latest information that we got is that they've actually postponed it to Tuesday to meeting with them. But this, was the Deputy Speaker quite livid at this particular fact that they didn't show up. What did you make of it?
And it's not the first time. It's not the first time. The executive has to speak to the people who work with him. That's the president has to speak with the people who work with him, because disrespecting the National Assembly should not be tolerated. This president needs the support of the National Assembly to succeed, and they've always provided that support. Right. At least when you compare this set of federal lawmakers with the last set, they got a lot more cooperation this time around. The president got a lot more cooperation. Right. Therefore, it makes no sense for people who work with the president to be seen to be disrespecting an arm of government that's provided the president much more than he could have imagined by way of support. So it's unacceptable. Maybe the timing, the timing was not too good for them. Maybe they needed more time, because they too would probably be gathering information. Yeah. And some of these chief executives, these big men, they usually don't have the facts at the disposal of their juniors. So they need to debrief their juniors sufficiently before going before these people, So naturally, they will probably need more time. People have been saying, Amaechi said they need some gadgets, this and that. It cannot cost that much. It's possible that someone suggested among the staff of the Minister of Transportation that, look, it could cost this much. The minister has not found time on his own to even investigate.
So are you trying to make a case for them? You're making an excuse for them?
No, what I'm saying is, they most of the time don't have the information that their juniors have. Okay. So they need time to debrief those people sufficiently before they go to face these people. Okay. What I will not encourage is for them to not face them, because they are doing their oversight function. You have to go and face them. You must show respect to them. I said that earlier, that the president must mandate them to go there. We want to solve a problem, and the key to solving the problem is not with the executive alone. These guys too, they can also chip in some suggestions to help us get there. Yeah. So you cannot disrespect an arm of government that has been very supportive to you. You need loans, you go to them, they approve those loans, even despite public outcry against continuous borrowing. Still approve your loan. So you must not permit your aides to disrespect them. But when you fail to face them and you now send juniors, you have disrespected them. It's you that they want to see. You are the accounting officer. You are the decision maker. You are the directing mind. So this is the way it should be. I will be happy to see Rotimi Amaechi and others eventually face these people. We are talking about securing the airports. Adisirika has to come up with his own suggestions. As a pilot, as an aviator, he has much more experience than the ordinary man. He has to say, okay, within this sector, right, I believe that these are the methods that will work. That's why you need such a meeting. Before they now take their decision, maybe they will do environment to enable us find the money to buy some of the things that maybe they will appropriate money, emergency make emergency funds available for us to solve this problem.
Right. Let me move it to Shalal Jelsi. Well, these are public officers, just like BK had actually mentioned, but it tantamounts to shunning Nigerians, do you think?
Yeah. Jide is right to a level. You need to find out what actually happened. You need to get your information right. But the very time you send somebody there as a proxy, that means whatever that person is saying is representing you. So why do you need to send a proxy? For something this important, to me, it smacks of official rascality. These are the lawmakers, and they invite you to come and explain. There is nothing bad if you don't have all your facts right. You can tell them, okay, this is what we have done. We have done this much. We are still trying to get more information. But I'm here in deference to the House that this is what is happening. But it's getting too frequent for officials to shun. No, you don't do that. In civilized societies, the rule of law demands that every arm of the government has its role. By not doing it, it's part of
as a matter of fact, the checks and balances.
So you should be able to go there, explain. Sending somebody means it's representing you. So what he's going to say is what you are going to say. So what stops you from going there?
All right.
So I think we need to understand it's okay. We are developing. Our democracy is still relatively young, but the future generation will watch what we are doing. Even your children will wonder if you have to. I mean, you are asked to do things right, and you don't want to do it, you are living a very bad precedence. We have to learn when to draw the line. Right. And I think that's my opinion on that. Yes.
All right, so we'll continue on these notes. And as a matter of fact, looking at the fallout of these attacks and some of the attacks that actually followed suit. We'll take a break this time. Do stay with us on Journalist Hangout. We'll be back soon. Thanks for staying with us here on Journalist Hangout on TVC News. I've been speaking with Babajide Kolade Otoju and Shalal Jelsi. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for also, being here. So let's continue with the Abuja Kaduna train attacks, where the House of Representatives invited the account officers, ministers, and all that without showing up. But let's dig deep into the incident itself. Recently we got to hear that some of the bandits have actually contacted the family of the kidnapped victims, but they've not demanded for ransom yet. But with all of these destruction attacks here and there, do you feel that the current administration is having its legacies destroyed right before their own eyes?
Yes, and I've said that repeatedly. You can praise the administration for the job that is done in terms of infrastructure, but I tell you, if the administration doesn't move quickly to solve this insecurity, the issue of insecurity, it is by that insecurity that it will be remembered. This is a fact. As a historian, I know that history has been unkind to some administrations that I saw actually do well in many areas. But people will hold on to something. They won't talk about the infrastructure. They will talk about, look at IBB, for example. In terms of infrastructure, I've not seen a Nigerian leader that perform like IBB. And I'm saying this with a high sense of responsibility in terms of infrastructure during the time that he had. But when you mention IBB, people will talk about
June 12.
June 12.
June 12 overshadowed.
Yes, they'll talk about June 12. That's what people will say. And that was the man that built that third mainland bridge, that at one point was the longest bridge in Africa before the bridge in Egypt overtook it. You know, if we are to build that third mainland bridge in today, do you know how much it will cost? You know, but that was the man that gave it to us. The Abuja-Kano expressway that the government is rebuilding now, that was the man that did it. He was the one, he delivered Abuja to us. And the roads in Abuja are the best in the country till today. Some of them are about 40 years, they are still, those roads are still standing up. Those Abuja roads. You know? So, but today, they remember him for Gulf War windfall that is accused of mismanaging. They remember him for June 12. Even when he had this bad day that we were talking about some of the achievements.
Right.
People misinterpreted. When you are a figure that people don't like, a hated figure, they don't even want to see your good side. They will talk about the negative. And I've advised this government, defeat this insecurity. Find a way to defeat this insecurity, especially this banditry. Banditry in the northwest and north central. And even some parts of the south and southeast. Defeat it. Give yourself immortality. Don't give these guys a chance to rubbish your legacy. Because those who are destroying rail tracks now and attacking trains, they are trying to destroy people from boarding trains. Yes. Those who are going to airports to stand on the tarmac with AK-47, what are they trying to do? To stop air travelers. So what do we then do? We've left the roads for them.
Even to fly is another
of course it's a concern now. If those boys can just walk onto the tarmac in Kaduna, what if they fired at a plane while airborne? So there's the reason, the infrastructure that you've delivered had huge costs. They are now even destroying them. That means that you must not spare these guys. You've got to crush them. You've got to exterminate them without delay. Otherwise, they will do worse things.
Okay, well, Shala Ojo say, House Leader Al-Hassan Ado Dogowa urges federal government to allow Nigerians, to bear arms in defense against bandits. Would you also subscribe to that?
Well, every suggestion, no matter how good it is, also has its own side. I mean, the flip side. Yeah. If you watch what happens elsewhere where people bear arms and the tendency to misuse it, some people will say no. We might not have seen the other side, that's why. But there are some people who have the responsibility to do these things. Are you going to say that everybody that enters a train in Nigeria will have to carry arms to be able to do that? There are certain statutory responsibilities given to the armed forces, the security agencies. Have we really given them enough opportunity to really discharge these duties? Let me tell you, like Jide said, this train service is a very beautiful thing. I don't know if you've traveled Lagos-Ibadan. I've not done Abuja-Kaduna. But if what I've seen Lagos-Ibadan...
By road or by rail?
By rail.
Okay.
It's a very excellent service. There are hiccups, definitely. But when you compare with international standards, I think we're getting there. It's so beautiful because the construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway made that place a no-go area for so many of us. But at least several times in the past 6-7 months, I've taken that rail service and it was quite good. And enjoyable. You sit down, you relax. The facilities are beautiful. When you enter the train, you want to praise the government. I mean, if there is something you are going to say about the government, that is good. This is one of the good things that the government has discharged. And you have to commend them for that. But that good thing is in danger of being rubbished.
Right.
Because let me tell you, I was contemplating traveling to Ibadan.
Could you hold your thoughts?
Yes,
We've got Dixon from Makode who is joining us. Dixon, well, the ball is in your court. Make your point.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Anytime I came to this program and I did not see you on sheet, I get down. Thank you for the good job that you have been doing.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make a little contribution. Now, concerning this train attack, on Abuja Kaduna Road.
Right.
Since the movement of this train on that road, does it really suggest that federal government did not actually, envisage this security check concerning issues like this before putting train on those roads, on those tracks? Now that the terrorists have seen that movement on that Kaduna and Abuja road are beginning to shift somehow to the rail. To begin to suggest to the federal government that yes, there is a need for a security check or a security beef up of that train.
All right. All right, Dixon, your point is made. Thank you very kindly. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want you to pick up from where you left it very quickly.
What I was saying, we need to find a way of guarding this kind of legacy. I interviewed a lot of people on the trip, and everybody was saying something good about this government. There may be other things, but there is something in terms of infrastructure, like Jide said. People, they enjoyed it, and they are happy. But now there is a danger. I told somebody I'll be coming to Ibadan. Are you coming by train or by road or what? The fear element. What the terrorists, what they are stuck in trade is to instill fear in the people, so that the good ways of life that we have, they want to rubbish it. They don't want us to enjoy our ways of life. And when citizens cannot enjoy their ways of life, people will protest. So the government has a great duty to perform in making sure that these tracks are secured. Amaechi has complained about certain things. He said he made some requests for surveillance gadgets or whatever to be able to secure. Are we looking deeply into that? I heard the president has done some things about that. He has directed. But this is a very clear and present danger that we have to, because these people did it before. Now it's been repeated. I think they are already fixated on that particular Abuja Kaduna, and we have to do something about it. Everything necessary. Otherwise, we continue to have the same vicious circle, and I don't think it's the best.
Well, we know that we'll keep continue to talk about this. We don't want to see people being killed, just like chicken in the country any longer.
But that's not. There was so much attention paid to what happened along that route. Maybe because there are some rich people, they use this train. But in one day, in one local government in Kebbi State, 88 persons were killed. And it didn't elicit this level of outrage. We have to defeat insecurity. It's a total job. It's not limited to what's going on along that route. We should not just secure the rail tracks. Innocent people traveling by road across that expressway, along that expressway, they also deserve to be protected. So, if we are to deploy technology to protect our people, we should do it in wholesome manner, not simply
focusing
to
on
protect
one angle.
people, train travelers and all that. No, it has to be a complete, because once you fix that problem, that particular problem, they'll move to somewhere else. That is their nature.
Yeah, they're causing a lot of distractions here and there, but we want to believe that the government will, get, right on their feet to ensure that this is done. Let's move to our last discussion for today, which is